More old-time tilts coming up after the break. There's Stu Grimson. He's written a new book, and he joins us in the side seats. He's very handsome. We're side seats time. It is time to welcome in former NHL enforcer and new author, Stu Grimson, the Grim Reaper himself. Man, you'll clean up great. You look fantastic.
You know, had I known, I would have worked socks into the.
That's okay.
Had I known.
No, that's in style. That's in style.
That's very hip.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
The book is called The Grim Reaper, The Life and Career of a Reluctant Warrior. Reluctant Warrior is sort of an apt term to describe the NHL enforcer, isn't it?
Well, I think for many of us, yes, it really is, because, you know, there aren't a lot of, you know, 5-year-old boys that kind of fall out of bed in the morning going, I want to be an NHL enforcer when I get to be, you know, older. You kind of gravitate towards this role. It's a path that takes place over a long stretch of time. You just don't, you know, you just don't land there one day. You end up filling a niche within an NHL team, and it was one for me. The reluctant kind of comes, you know, from this piece of it. Jay, I wrestled with the role in my late teens, my early 20s. I wrestled with the role. Wasn't sure, you know, I had what it took to do it, and it was very taxing emotionally. Never mind the physical, really taxing emotionally. But I came to a place kind of in my, I should say, my early 20s, and then got better at it as time went on. But it's, you know, it's an interesting mindset you need to adopt to be able to play that role and play it for any stretch of time.
Well, we might be able to get into that mindset because you compiled over 2,000 penalty minutes over your career. And my buddy was an enforcer with the New York Islanders. I sent him a text. I said, did you ever fight Stu Grimson? Steve Webb is his name.
Oh, Webby,
he said,
oh my God.
Yes, at a face-off in Hartford. He says, how do I know you? You said, and he said, we're on the same team in training camp last year in Detroit. You said, you even look cross-eyed out here, I will kill you. Then you ran Smolinski. We fought. He sliced me open, and you said, hang on a little longer, kid. The ride gets a lot better. Do you remember that fight? Because we looked it up, and you pummeled him.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You did. You know, I do remember that fight. I think it was the one and only time Webby and I ever fought. And you know what? For guys like him, I give him a lot of credit. I put, you know, the Webbs and the Kelly Chases of the world and all these guys. There were lots of guys that I called kind of upper-end middleweights that would tangle with guys my size, and it's a real mismatch. But he played with the heart of a lion. Steve Webb was a great pro. I remember the fight. I don't remember the banter being quite that interesting.
Okay, so speaking of fighting, we're going to do a little rapid fire.
Well, you have a whole, I mean, you cover all these guys that you fought, and you have a whole chapter about it, so we thought we'd throw a little rapid fire at you here.
Okay. We're going to revisit some of these.
Yeah.
That's right. And we're going to start with one that you grew up with in Kamloops, Tony Twist.
Oh, gosh. Big, barrel-chested man. One of the rare, this is a rarity to me in that category of guys, he liked it. He actually liked it. Tony Twist loved doing what he did. And I'll tell you what, for the rest of us, and I can speak for just about the rest of us, I did it because, you know, it's a hard role to play. Your teammates appreciate it. They really love it, appreciate that you've done it. But it was by no means the funnest part of what I did. It was a hard role to play. It was really one negative in a basket full of great benefits, you know, a career, a life in the NHL. But Twister he was good at it and really enjoyed it.
How about Ty Domi? That melon, that's an easy target.
I always say Ty had a head a little bit like that 14-pound medicine ball you played with in high school. You know, you could tee off on that thing all day long, and he'd just be standing there looking at you like, are we going to get started? Is this it?
Yeah.
Let's, when everybody talks about Bob Probert, you had a few legendary tilts with him.
Proby was a unique human being. He was in the very same package. A very talented hockey player. Remember, he came within a whisker of scoring 30 goals earlier in his career. He was once an all-star, and he was arguably, through different stretches of his career, the heavyweight champion of the NHL. I knew every time I fought Proby, I had my hands full. And there's nobody I fought more than Proby, and the same is true of him. We tangled 14 times over the course of our career, and every time, you felt like you had a tiger by the tail.
So if you're playing the Wings and do you go in there saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to.
There are lots of nights you really don't feel like doing it, but it's an obligation, it's a duty. If you're healthy enough to be in the mix, you want to make that contribution if the moment calls for it.
All right, Stu, you have a whole chapter on Dave Brown, and I was lucky enough to be at Northlands Coliseum the first time you fought Dave Brown.
My God.
And this was a shocking moment for the entire building because he was, at the time, maybe the toughest guy in the league, and you came in and you beat him up.
This was my welcome to the NHL moment.
Yeah.
I got called up on the front end of a home-and-home series. It's one of the greatest rivalries in the history of our sport, Calgary-Edmonton. I knew if I was going to stick in the NHL as a member of the Calgary Flames, the path through into the NHL ran right through Dave Brown. And I'm looking at this guy as he's looping over to my side of the red line during warm-up, and I'm going, I don't even have the saliva to spit. Long story short, I got hold of that left hand as he's trying to clock me, and I tagged him twice, and I laid him out. Are you readers at all? I think it's Charles Dickens that said it's both the best of times and the worst of times.
Correct.
The worst of times came 2 nights later. We went back to the Saddle Dome. I didn't get a hold of that left hand, and that left hand caught me about 3 times under my right eye, fractured my cheekbone, broke my orbital in 3 different places.
It's it was something to behold in person. The first fight.
You're on a book tour. You're going to be doing a lot of interviews. This is going to be the best one you do. And this is also
It already is. It already is.
This is also the only interview in which you will have a Wheel of Destiny.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, and theme music and everything.
Oh, yeah, this is very exciting. Not only do we have the Wheel of Destiny, but we have the wizard himself, our stats guy, Hound Dog Harrison, who is the wizard who will spin the wheel on your behalf. So in a sense, your destiny is in the hands of a magical wizard.
There's lots of things on there. You're free to leave. We get to see what's in your pocket.
Oh, my God.
You can put Dan in a headlock.
Exciting. Exciting.
Here we go.
What is my destiny? What is my destiny?
Yes! Yes! This is what we wanted. This is so great.
No.
This may be my favorite moment in the whole history of broadcasting.
Actually, I can't do that. I'll lose my mic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm preferring the right side.
Okay.
There we go. Let's count this out slowly.
When somebody should start the clock at some point. I'm in no
I have to
rush.
start it now,
Of course, I'm in no rush.
I love this. And
Jay, I could be
go
here.
to break.
I could be here all day.
You know what? We'll let this happen throughout the commercial break. And when we come back, with Sidney Crosby and Nate McKinnon playing against each other on Wednesday, we look back at the best plays from the 2 Cole Harbor stars in the top 10. Thanks, Stu.